Bowland, darling viewers, it's Jen here at Check Her Joy. This time I'm reviewing Buck Rogers' Future Shock. This is volume 1 of the 2010 run of Buck Rogers, as issues 1 through 5. So Buck Rogers is from kind of our not too distant future, like they're a little bit ahead of us technology-wise, but like our century. But there is a time travel aspect to this where he ends up 500 years into the future, and things that he had done and like his original timeline are having massive consequences 500 years into the future. I've heard of Buck Rogers, but hadn't read or watched any of them, so this is my introduction to Buck Rogers as a character as well. So the writing on this is by Scott Beatty, with illustrations by Carlos Rafael, Carlos Lopez, and Simon Bowland on art. So Buck Rogers is this test pilot in kind of a space program where they are working on interplanetary travel. He is trying to get past the asteroid belt. We're in a future where we are starting to colonize Mars, and starting to get beyond just our part of the solar system, but really haven't like traveled that far. And one of the things that Buck is testing is this gravity drive, where they think they can harness gravity and the way that it works to make the time move differently to get out into like the outer planets and maybe go explore outside our solar system one day. There is a problem on Mars with the colony where a plague breaks out, and basically everybody who's on the colony ends up dead. One of the scientists decides he needs to preserve his work and send it out into space, away from Earth, because the plague, so you don't want to infect everybody on Earth. But his work keeps going, and Buck is supposed to retrieve it and stop it from, like, potentially ending up in the hands of any extraterrestrials who might be out there. So when Buck tries to do that, the gravity drive doesn't work the way it's supposed to, and he overshoots his mark and ends up overshooting it into the future. And he ends up 500 years later in this world that looks completely different. And there's some pretty dire consequences for him not having captured that data. And it did in fact get into alien hands, and now there's kind of this war between the humans trying to fight for survival versus the aliens who captured it. Mostly we're following Buck and his being displaced and him trying to piece out what's happening, and this whole fight for human race and our survival, which is, you know, as a human I'm kind of invested in. Ta-da! I have questions about like the future outfit, where like this is the standard uniform where you have lights on your uniform, and why would you want the like enemy to be able to spot you from a distance, especially in like the dark? Like that doesn't make sense to me. It looks cool, but practically, you know, maybe not the best. So on the whole, I enjoyed it. This 5-issue story arc kind of ends up on a cliffhanger, and only having volume 1, I'm like, I don't feel like the story is completed. Like, it reaches the end of a story arc, and he resolves, like, one set of problems, but it definitely leads to another set of problems, so I definitely feel like I need to get volume 2 and read it. But it's a really fast read. Spacey and futuristic and sciencey, and adventure, which I enjoyed. The future does bring up some questions about the science that we're engaged in and how we deal with, like, maybe don't recklessly send your scientific work out into who knows what into the future. And some questions brought up by what the aliens are actually doing with this tech that they've got that I don't want to spoil. On the whole, I liked this. It did have a bit of a military aspect to it, but not too much, which was kind of the thing that I've been avoiding Buck Rogers for, was I thought it was going to be too far-fetched in the science fiction, the department. And maybe some of the original, like, stories are like that, but this one from 2010 is pretty cool, I guess. I ended up giving this 3 stars because I'm not really sure what to make of it yet, mainly because I feel like it's not finished with just the 1 volume. But also, I am looking at getting volume 2, and it's going to be a while before I can get it because the library doesn't have it, so I'm actually going to buy it. But also, it's not high enough priority for me to be like, I need it right now. So one day I may end up reviewing volume 2 also. So my thoughts are kind of like unsettled at this point. Do I like this? Yes. Am I going to keep reading it? Yes. Do I think it's like the most amazing science fiction ever? Not really. Not right now. maybe this volume 2 will surprise me. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you have read Buck Rogers, if you've read volume 2, what you thought of it. If you've read any other Buck Rogers stories, or I think there was a show or a movie or something. I should have researched this more before I filmed. But if you know of any other Buck Rogers stories that are like awesome too, let me know that in the comments below, or any other stories that are similar to it. There's the back if you wanted to see it. So yeah, peace out. I love you guys, and keep reading. Bye.